everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Tech This Week. My name is Apulak. Hope all of you are keeping well. So today, I'm going to talk about an area which I feel is an important area. It does not talk about any particular part of technology, but I'm going to talk about tech obsolescence today. Think about it. How many of you owned a cassette player? I'm assuming everybody who's listening to this either is too young to know about a cassette player, or for those who know and have used one, have very fond memories of it, right? Or a floppy disk, right? Just a couple of decades ago, cassettes were the default way to store music. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then came CDs, followed by DVDs. Then came pen drives, and then came hard drives, right? And now you have you have cloud for music storage. Can you think of anyone these days using a cassette player? What about the hoard of cassettes that we have? You know, so if you had spent a fortune, setting up a CD burning business in the early 2000s, where would the investment be today? You know, in fact, if you take this analogy a step further, remember Kodak? So that's the consumer side. You know, it was a company which practically invented photography, right? But where are they today? I can't see them anywhere, literally. Because it failed to adapt to a digital camera revolution. And today it's a shadow of its former self. Coming closer to India, in fact, if you think of it, most are there. At one point, one of the largest producers of CDs and DVDs, right? But once streaming and cloud storage took over, its business almost collapsed. The companies, and these companies actually weren't bad at what they did. They just didn't see how quickly the industry would vanish. So this is the lesson for any tech-driven business, actually. If you don't adapt, you become history. But then we've known that, right? And let's understand this is not confined to consumer business alone. It's a lesson for enterprises too. Because in this world of enterprise tech buying, obsolescence actually is an even bigger risk, right? Companies invest millions in hardware, software, and infrastructure. But what happens when these purchases become junk in just a few years or obsolete, right? So technology actually just does not evolve. It kind of renders its predecessors useless. You know, the hard drive that you bought, say, 5 years ago might be too slow today. The data center that you built a decade ago may no longer be cost effective compared to, say, more attuned services what are available today. So I think obsolete technology leads to financial waste, which we know. But if a tech investment becomes redundant too quickly, the ROI all obviously going to shrink. But it doesn't end there. It contributes to e-waste also. Tons of old servers, storage devices, and other hardware are discarded every year. So while buying the latest tech might seem a great investment, the real question is how long before it becomes worthless? Like I gave this example, quick example of that comes to mind is the massive transformation that storage has undertaken over the year. Typically, let's look at consumer storage. First, there were cassettes, then you had optical discs, right? This was the gold standard for storing data. Then came USB pen drives and hard disks, faster, portable, but still for devices with limitations. Today's world, there's a lot of emphasis on flash storage SSDs. Superior speed and durability, but still tied to hardware. Then we talk about cloud storage. This is the current king, no physical device, just seamless access to data anytime, anywhere. But if you think this is where the evolution stops for storage, because this will keep on continuing. In fact, we've started hearing stuff around, say, DNA storage, where scientists are working on storing data in synthetic DNA, which could last for thousands of years, or quantum data for that matter, or decentralized storage, where a future is technology that could store massive amount of data in ultra small spaces, or using blockchain-based solutions, right? So does that mean physical data, storage data is dead? Not yet. But the future is clearly heading towards invisible storage. where data is everywhere, but hardware is nowhere to be seen, right? Point actually that I'm trying to make is with so much happening around, it is quite clear that life cycle of any technology has shortened considerably, right? And thus making technology what is most relevant today probably redundant tomorrow. So I think the world needs to realize that technology is a moving target, right? Most people assume that the biggest risk of tech obsolescence is financial loss. But I think there is a bigger risk than that, and we have to go deeper around it. The true cost of obsolescence isn't just wasted money or e-waste. It's also the lost opportunity to innovate. You may be wondering, what am I hinting here? Because whether you're a business making a big tech purchase or just someone, thinking of buying the latest gadget, ask yourself, is the technology built to last or is it just a stepping stone to something better? Companies that invest, say, I'll give you some past example. Companies that have invested heavily in outdated technology don't just lose money. They resist change because they feel obligated to justify past investments. Think of it. For example, many telecom companies spend huge amount of money building landline networks. But with the rise of, internet-based calling and 5G taking over, they found it hard to switch because they had already invested so much in the old technology. What do I do with my investments? So what this essentially means is that they hold on to obsolete infrastructure longer than they should have, while competitors moved years ahead. The speed of tech cycles means we are entering in an era where, you know, businesses treat technology as a short-term consumable. You know? Companies that future-proof investments by focusing on adaptability over features could break free from this constant side of tech waste. I think the smartest companies won't just buy the next best thing, you know. They'll invest in tech with built-in adaptability, solutions that evolve rather than expire, you know. Because in a world where every technology has an expiration date, the real strategy isn't just buying better, it's planning for what comes next. Because as history has taught us, nothing stays relevant forever. What it essentially means is that they hold on to obsolete infrastructure longer than they should, while competitors have moved ahead. You know, the speed of tech cycle means we are entering an era where businesses treat technology as short-term consumables. I think companies that future-proof investments by doing what? By focusing on adaptability over feature could break free from the constant of tech waste. I think the smartest companies, in my personal opinion, won't just buy the next best thing, you know, and invest in tech with built-in adaptability, solutions that evolve rather than expire. Because in a world where every technology has an expiration date, the real strategy isn't just buying better, it's planning for what comes next. Because history has taught us one simple thing: nothing stays relevant forever. That's it from my end. Have a great week ahead.